Could the San Francisco 49ers enter the Aaron Rodgers trade sweepstakes? That's what we're talking about on today's San Francisco 49ers Report. I'm Chase Senior. Thank you so much for joining us. According to reports, the Niners could swoop in and trade for Aaron Rodgers if the trade with the New York Jets does fall apart. Before we dive into all of this, there's so much to get to on this loaded topic. Today's poll question is this: do you want the Niners to trade for Aaron Rodgers? Simply let us know down in the comment section by typing G for go for it or P for pass. Let's set the foundation here first. Craig Carton is a radio host. He said the New York Jets could lose Aaron Rodgers and San Francisco could come in and trade for him to steal him away from the Jets to put that fan base in shambles, and it wouldn't be the first time for Jets fans. The Niners did, interestingly enough, check in on Aaron Rodgers back in 2021, even after they moved up to take Trey Lance at number 3 in the NFL draft. Rodgers has ties to San Francisco because of that, but also ties to NorCal. Grew up in Chico, California, went to Butte Community College and Cal. The 49ers passed up on him to take Alex Smith. He then slid all the way down the draft board to the Green Bay Packers, and that had Aaron Rodgers bent at the time because he wanted to go to the childhood team that he grew up idolizing because he loved Joe Montana, as well as Steve Young, and the organization that he grew up rooting for did not take him in the draft. And can you imagine if San Francisco would have taken Aaron Rodgers in the draft instead of Alex Smith? Maybe a couple of more Super Bowls for San Francisco. Now, here's partially what Craig Carton said, and throughout the show, we're going to go back to what he said, as well as Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio. The New York Jets, Carton continued, are about to lose Aaron Rodgers, and the Patriots are about to get rid of Mac Jones and trade for Lamar Jackson or Aaron Rodgers if he does not go to San Francisco. It's all falling apart. It's falling apart at the seams. All of our dreams of Aaron Rodgers wearing jet green and OBJ following him and the Jets being the team to beat, it's all crumbling because we don't want to give back a pick, and the Green Bay Packers, they're not budging in some of these trade conversations. Now, this is why San Francisco would make the trade for Aaron Rodgers. And let me say, I think it's unlikely, but it's certainly fascinating to talk about because Rodgers would immediately make the Niners favorites to win the NFC over the Philadelphia Eagles, in my opinion, because I believe San Francisco's roster a tad bit better than the team that beat them in the NFC title game back in January. Why the Niners would make the deal: the Super Bowl window is right now. And in acquiring Aaron Rodgers, you put your poker chips to the middle of the table. You go all in trying to get that 6th Lombardi trophy in franchise history. Aaron Rodgers, he can still be an elite football player, even though he had a down year in 2022. Why? Well, we saw it. Most recently, he won MVPs in 2020 as well as in 2021. There's also uncertainty around Brock Purdy's elbow, Trey Lance's inexperience, as well as the ankle injury, and Sam Darnold defines mid. Rodgers is unquestionably better than those 3 quarterbacks currently on the Niners quarterback depth chart, and San Francisco, they would become immediate Super Bowl contenders because right now they already have one of the highest win totals according to the odds makers at 11.5. Now, I'll tell you this, I'm going to Key West on Friday. The content is going to continue here on the show. If for whatever reason San Francisco trades for Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to go live regardless of where I am in Key West. And whenever the Niners make a move, we're here to break it down. That's a big reason why we recently surpassed 80,000 subscribers, and we're on the road to getting that plaque from YouTube in Silicon Valley, getting to 100,000 subscribers. For daily shows on San Francisco, subscribe today to the 49ers Report. More from Craig Carton. Aaron Rodgers would absolutely want to play for this franchise. They have Trey Lance, who's coming off a broken ankle, Brock Purdy, who's not going to be throwing until August or September, and they signed Sam Darnold. They do not have a quarterback right now. Maybe Trey Lance becomes a stud. We don't know. Aaron Rodgers is from the area and has always said, I might want to go home one day. From Aaron Rodgers' standpoint, this is why this is certainly interesting. If you're Aaron Rodgers, you're thinking this: the path to getting that next Super Bowl is not with the New York Jets in a loaded AFC East and a very difficult AFC, which features the likes of Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Patrick Mahomes. The easiest route and path to a Super Bowl is in a wide-open NFC West, in which the 49ers are the defending champions in that division, and a wide-open NFC, which I believe right now is a two-horse race between the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers. From Aaron Rodgers' standpoint, he looks at himself saying, I'm a 4-time MVP winner. I'm one of the most gifted throwers of all time. I still have some gas left in the tank, but what does everybody criticize me for? Only one Super Bowl, and it hasn't come in more than a decade, going all the way back to 2011. And the San Francisco 49ers allow me to have a homecoming because I grew up in Chico, went to Butte Community College as well as Cal. They passed up on me for Alex Smith. And this roster with San Francisco, paired with the coaching of Kyle Shanahan, is a big reason why the 49ers win total is already 11.5 without Aaron Rodgers. With the Jets, he's not throwing to Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. He doesn't have Trent Williams protecting his blind side. He doesn't have a defense that has the reigning Defensive Player of the Year in Nick Bosa, the best linebacker in the game in Fred Warner, with a couple of other studs on that side of the ball. The path to a Super Bowl for Aaron Rodgers is with the San Francisco 49ers. And I do believe that Aaron Rodgers can still play. He might be a little bit flaky. It might be difficult to trust him. But could a change of scenery reinvigorate him to a certain degree? Could he end up being motivated by this trade to prove the Packers wrong, to go back to the team that he idolized growing up with the San Francisco 49ers, and he puts it all together? He silences the detractors. He plays great football, and the Niners win their vaunted 6th Super Bowl. Could stern Kyle Shanahan keep Aaron Rodgers in line and not bend over backwards for him like Matt LaFleur? Kyle Shanahan's tough to deal with sometimes, but he is because he wants the best out of his quarterbacks. As for Aaron Rodgers, the player, last year in 2022, no doubt a down year for him. But it's not like the Green Bay Packers over the last couple of years have done him any favors in building up a good supporting cast around him. They drafted his replacement in Jordan Love. They traded away Devontae Adams. They haven't taken a good wide receiver in the draft in a little while. Christian Watson finally popped last year, and Aaron Rodgers is looking at Brian Gutekunst, the general manager, saying, finally. Now, last year might have been a down one for Rodgers, but as recently as 2021, he was the MVP. 37 touchdowns, 4 picks, and in 2020, 48 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. I still believe that he can tap into that greatness and be a good quarterback in this league, especially with a good supporting cast with San Francisco. So with that, let's transition to another poll question here. If you could pick a starter for the Niners in 2023, who would it be? Aaron Rodgers, very expensive, type AR. Brock Purdy, affordable, undefeated up until the NFC Championship game, type BP. And then there's the young gun, Trey Lance, still only 22 years old, 23 in May, type TL. Now, today's 49ers Report presented by a new sponsor. It is Fume. You can get 10% off the Journey Pack at tryfume.com/chatsports. We're going to put that link in the comment section and in the description of this video. What is Fume? Well, I'm here to tell you more. Fume. Let's talk about it. So it's a really cool company. Are you tired of struggling with bad habits? Cold turkey might be great for sandwiches, but there's a better way to break free from those pesky habits, and it doesn't involve weird mind voodoo or other bizarre tactics. Introducing our sponsor, Fume, an innovative, award-nominated device that helps you kick bad habits to the curb by focusing on the good parts. Fume, all about embracing the natural. It's not electronic, and instead of vapor, Fume uses natural flavored air. And best of all, it's free of harmful chemicals and packed with delicious, all-natural flavors. The adjustable airflow and movable parts and magnets make it perfect for fidgeting, which can help alleviate stress and anxiety while you break your bad habit. Wasn't sure what to expect, but I was pleasantly surprised by the taste, the feel, and the look of Fume. Breaking a bad habit can be tough, but with Fume, it's easy, enjoyable, and even fun. With over 100,000 customers, Faithful, and countless success stories, there's no reason you can't be next. So start your journey towards a healthier lifestyle with the Journey Pack from Fume. Visit tryfume.com/chatsports. 3 unique flavors in the Journey Pack: white cranberry, maple pepper, crisp mint. That's TRYFUM. tryfume.com/chatsports, 10% off your order. Now, in addition to Craig Carton talking about this on the airwaves, Mike Florio has also entered the mix, posing the question and coming out with some additional reporting about Aaron Rodgers heading to the Bay Area. Shout out to Rick Nyers in the chat, by the way. What's up, OG Rick? Mike Florio with this. The 49ers are an intriguing team to mention in this context. 2 years ago, it was the Niners who called the Packers regarding whether they'd trade Rodgers to San Francisco the day before the draft. The Packers quickly said no. The news of that 11th hour effort hit the fan as draft day unfolded. While Rodgers does not have a no-trade clause, he has to want to play for the team that trades for him, and that commits nearly $60 million to him right away. Thus, before his potential plan B would ever become plan A, Rodgers would have to change his intention. He'd have to say basically, well, I really wanted to play for the Jets, but the Packers drove too hard of a bargain, and the Jets weren't willing to pay the price. The 49ers are, though, so that's that. Frankly, this feels like an effort by the Packers to put a little extra pressure on the Jets to get the deal done sooner rather than later, to get the Jets to give whatever the Packers want in 2024 as much as a first-round pick and to give up on whatever the Jets want in 2025 as insurance against Rodgers being a one-year rental. Now, I do think that Florio makes some fair points there. There's obviously the paper trail heading back to 2021, which is why we're talking about this, because this current regime with John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan did show interest in Aaron Rodgers in the past. But also, this is always a leverage game here. The Jets and Packers probably both want to get this deal done so that they can figure out their NFL draft plans, iron everything out to have a better idea of what this roster is going to look like in 2023. And if the trade for Aaron Rodgers doesn't go through prior to the draft, the Packers are missing out on valuable draft capital to bring in another player in this year's draft. They have quarterback question marks with Rodgers and Jordan Love still on the roster. And then for the New York Jets, they probably want to figure out, okay, do we have to draft a quarterback that might slide into our laps? Or are we going to trade for Aaron Rodgers? Should we get him a receiver, offensive line help? There's a loaded conversation that comes with that as well. Here's why San Francisco would not do the deal, piggying back on why they would do the deal. 2023 cap hit for Aaron Rodgers, $31.6 million, but because of the construct in his contract, you owe him $60 million upon giving him that deal a couple of years ago and trading for him. For San Francisco, 3 cost-controlled quarterbacks who don't take up a lot of money on the salary cap for the Niners on a roster that's very top-heavy, paying a lot of premium contracts. You'd be paying him a lot and probably giving up a lot for San Francisco. We're talking draft capital and or player capital. When you bring in Rodgers, he always comes with drama. And the Niners right now have a special culture. So would Aaron Rodgers coming in really affect that? Here's also the pluses of the Niners quarterback room right now. They have 2 quarterbacks on their rookie deals. They want to pay a huge deal to Nick Bosa. They probably want to re-up Brandon Ayuk at some point. They're paying the bag to guys like Fred Warner, Trent Williams, George Kittle. They have to look into the future at a player like Talanoa Hufanga. They have a combined cap hit to these 3 quarterbacks of $13.1 million with Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, and Sam Darnold for 2023. And for Purdy, he's making about $1 million this year. He was great down the stretch. He's so much more affordable than Aaron Rodgers. And Kyle Shanahan, by all accounts, really likes what he was able to do. To his backup in Trey Lance, still only 22 years old. He too, cost affordable, financially conservative, are the 49ers at that quarterback spot, and he still has a lot of potential as he turns 23 in May. Can you untap into that potential, and can he give you some special ability? And then for Sam Darnold, he has ability, better suited as a backup, but a better number 3 quarterback, no doubt, than a guy like Josh Johnson. So all of this in summary here from me. It's all really fun to talk about. The Niners have checked in on Aaron Rodgers in the past. It would make the Niners NFC favorites and Super Bowl favorites. Shoot, going back to that original point, they already have a combined over-under win total, according to the odds makers, of 11.5. That's up there with some of the best teams in the league, like the Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals. This probably is not going to happen because I think that San Francisco is content with their current plans of moving forward with these 3 quarterbacks. Brock Purdy, he really displayed a lot. I like how he threw with anticipation as well as a lot of accuracy last year. He didn't lose a game up until the NFC Championship game, and Kyle Shanahan wants a low-maintenance quarterback who can get the ball out quick and accurately. That's what Purdy was able to do, and his ability to extend plays while also being very, very cheap is attractive for a team that's paying big-time dollars to a lot of big-time players. You still want to see what you can get out of Trey Lance. That's why you moved up to number 3 to take him in 2021, and since then he has a combined 4 starts. And then Sam Darnold, some incentives in that deal, and escalators in it where if he does play, if he does win games, and he performs pretty well, then that contract can be a lot more than that regular base salary. So if you're still hanging with us here on the San Francisco 49ers Report, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, thank you so much for being with us. Give me a real one down in the chat. We appreciate y'all for watching live and those of you watching after the fact.